You guys want to see something super cute? Check this out. Look at the little bunny. I love them so much. Gamers, hello and welcome to my Lingsha pre-release analysis and first impressions. Today we're on the 2.5 creator experience server, and I'm going to be using it to give you an early look at the character, tell you about how she plays, and give you some gameplay examples. There's an in-game event that allowed you to play her a little bit, and you can see her full kit. In this video, I'm going to actually show you how it works in Memory of Chaos, so like really high-end content. Just keep in mind that because it's a creator experience server, everything is subject to change. It's entirely possible that this character could get some changes before release. I don't anticipate she's going to get many, if any at all, but it's possible. So with all that being said, let me show you guys how to play Lingsha and what she does. So I'm gonna be honest, there's a meme about this character being Gallagher 2. She's Gallagher 2. She is a fire abundance character and she deals with break effect. As you can see, I have Gallagher's light cone on, or the free-to-play Gallagher light cone on. And it's honestly awesome. Both her and this dude, the dog, my guy Gallagher, they are both going to be fitting into the exact same teams, except that she has a few more that she can play into with actual synergy. The thing is, Gallagher's always going to be a good healer, but Lingsha is a good healer that also adds extra things on top of the break effect gimmick. So not only is she best in slot for Firefly teams, but she's also going to be just generally good in a lot of other teams, and I'm going to go over those with you guys today. But first, let me show you how she works. All right, so here we are with our Firefly team with Harmony MC, Firefly, Lingsha, and Ruan Mei. It doesn't really matter which order you press these in. You're just going to want to use all the techniques and then crash into them with the force of Doomfist Ultimate. Okay, so what does Lingsha do? Well, first off, let me tell you what that technique does. You'll notice that the enemies have a bit of a couple debuffs on them. Not all of them are going to be from Lingsha. In fact, only one of them is going to be, and that's going to be Befog, not to be confused with Defog from Pokemon Gen 4, which I will probably say a few times during this video. It increases break damage taken by 25%, which is super great for break teams, which is where she really excels. But not only that, it also summons her little pet, the little pink Eevee looking thing. It's going to instantly summon Fuyuan, which is a core mechanic of her kit. Basically, Fuyuan is a 90 speed summon, sort of like Lightning Lord for Jingyuan, except it doesn't get faster with time. What actually happens with Fuyuan is the only way to move them forward really is just action forward, which can happen from Lingsha in two different ways. One is her skill and one is her ultimate. Basically, whenever it's Banui's turn here, they're going to launch a follow-up attack that hits all enemies with fire damage based on her attack. And additionally, it's going to deal extra fire damage to one enemy at random, but it's going to prioritize enemies that have toughness bar and are fire weak. On top of that, whenever Banui attacks, you're also getting a cleanse and a heal on your entire team, which is super nice. Now, the bunny does have an action count, and the action count cannot hit 0. If it hits 0, Banui gets sent to the mines, and you will never see Banui again. When you enter battle and use her technique, you gain the 3 actions immediately, but you can also get these actions via her skill if you enter battle without her technique. So by using her skill, it's going to instantly summon Fuyuan. But if you use her technique, you'll already have them and you don't have to worry about it. Now, the maximum action count is 5, and every time you use her skill, she's going to gain 3. However, every time the Banui attacks, they lose 1. You don't want to let that number reach 0, because if it reaches 0, the character is, well, I can't think of anything nice to say, so I'm not going to say anything at all. But because you can go up to a total of 5 and each one gains 3, you can actually use her basic attack without fear of losing uptime on Banui. And the basic attack actually gets 30 energy instead of 20 with this character, which means you're not missing out on energy if you go skill instead of basic or basic instead of skill. Now, as mentioned before, her skill and her ultimate give her action advance. If you use her skill, it hits all enemies and it heals your entire team. It also moves the bunny forward by 20%. And if you use her ultimate, it afflicts a Befog, which I mentioned before, adds break damage bonus lasting for 2 turns. It's not like a stat bonus, it's receive 25% increased break damage, which is super nice. And on top of that, it's going to heal. So basically everything in her kit except her basic attack heals, and she's got follow-up attacks, and she has cleanse. So let me just show you sort of how she plays. We're going skill with Firefly, and we're going to instantly get the follow-up attack. Now, there's actually a specific reason for this. When you go to her talent, there's actually a trace that makes it so whenever an ally of yours falls to 60% or below 60%, which happens to be, you know, exactly what Firefly does, you instantly proc the follow-up attack of Banui. It can only be activated once every 2 turns, I believe, and it does not affect the trigger count of Banui. So that also means that, you know, if you have 1 left and an enemy happens to smack you down below 60% HP, you're still going to have 1 left after that, and it's going to instantly heal you, which is just so nice. But now let me show you the good stuff. I'm going to actually basic attack with her just for skill points. Let's go ahead and put that basic attack out there. Now we're going to go ahead and Firefly Ultimate just so that way we can get the ball rolling. I don't actually have Harmony Trailblazer ready. but that's okay. It's not going to ruin the entire game. And actually, Harmony Trailblazer should just be able to do this and be fine. Let's find out. Yep. All right, so we are good to go, and Ron May is up next. And as you can see, so if you look over in the action priority, Banui's slowly making our way downtown, walking fast, you know, all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and basic attack Ron May, use her ultimate. Enemy's gonna try to recover. They're not gonna be able to. Oh, they are gonna be able to, actually. I scanned you guys. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and skill with Firefly. And after the enemy tries to get up, Banui should attack them and also heal up our entire team, including Harmony Trailblazer. Boom. So there you go, already maxed. And it's nice because it's sort of this like automatic healing in a different way from what we're used to with like Lingsha, for example. So now I can basic attack or skill, but I'm worried about my skill points. So I'm gonna basic attack again, and I'm gonna save my ultimate until I really need it. Skilling with Harmony Trailblazer. I'm gonna go ahead and basic attack with Ron May. And then Firefly should clean this up in 0 cycles. So there you go, on to the next cycle. Now, something that you guys may have noticed if you're playing this on live, at the time of watching this, I don't know if anyone's gonna be playing this live when this is like actually happening, but there's gonna be a different MOC when this character comes out, I'm pretty sure. If not, then I could just totally be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be an MOC that favors her even more than this, which is gonna make her look really, really good. So right now, these guys don't have the fog on them, and I kind of want them to have it, and Banui is so far down, we can afford to action forward this. So we could use our ultimate. And then after Firefly attacks, we're gonna get Banui again. Boom, Banui attack. All right, so now we only have 1 attack left, so we definitely want to skill here. So we're gonna go ahead and just drop our skill, which you'll be able to see the animation for, and you'll see the stack count go up to 4. Boom, 4, we get some super break damage, which is also super nice. Now, you'll notice that her super break damage doesn't look like it's quite Gallagher's damage. Also, that really sucks, unlucky. We do have cleanses coming up, but it's like way down here. But yeah, so if you know anything about Gallagher, you'll know that he does a ton of damage. The reason my Lingsha is not doing that much damage is because I'm not playing a break effect rope. And there's a reason I'm playing ER rope, and I'll go over that in the build section after this. But for now, we'll do this. Boom. And I don't have my skill, so we're just gonna kind of have to suck this one up. It is what it is. Harmony Trailblazer will be able to get her ultimate back with her basic attack. So it should be fine. And Banui will deal some super break damage, which will also be really nice. But yeah, dude, this will also cleanse Ron May and heal, which is nice. But the thing that sucks is that Ron May got that effect on her literally right after Banui attacked. So there was nothing we could do about it, which is really, really unlucky and unfortunate. But it is what it is. So now we're in a bit of a weird spot SP-wise because we missed a Ron May turn and we didn't get that SP back. So I'm going to have to basic attack on Firefly. It is what it is. I don't know how much it is what it is I have left to be at this point. I'm going to go ahead and basic attack, and now we can just save this ultimate for when we need it, which hopefully won't be anytime soon. But, you know, if we get stunned again, we got to do what we got to do. We're going to ult on Ron May. Hopefully they won't just dominate Lingsha. I feel like that could be like a really worst case scenario. Okay, Banui's going to attack. So now it's pretty safe to use this. I'm going to wait until the enemy applies a debuff to us. But I'm going to go ahead and skill with Firefly. Should instantly proc Banui follow up if we weren't on cooldown for that, but we are on cooldown for the HP threshold one. Don't got to worry about it. Don't got to worry about it at all. Okay, so we have a debuff on Harmony Trailblazer. We should do this. Now the next action will be Banui. So we can basic attack to get a skill point back. Boom, Banui attack. Skill here. Basic here. Really, really unlucky that they didn't prioritize Firefly for attacks too. Like, again, there's so much RNG that goes into this game. Like, you could just get completely obliterated for your cycles if you just don't get super lucky with who gets hit for energy and stuff. Also, not breaking Kafka here, L. Again, because our Ron May was down, this entire thing is pretty messed up, but that's okay. So Banui is down here, and we don't have to, like, we're gonna defeat them with Firefly. So I'm gonna use the basic attack so we actually have a skill to use on Firefly. And it won't matter that Banui would be extinguished here because they're dead. So honestly, it was like 2 cycles. It wasn't the best thing that I've done, and it wasn't my best run by any means. But also this MOC isn't actually meant for Firefly in them. The one that you guys will be playing when it comes out will be. And that's just going to be a creator experience server thing where some of the content may not be final. So anyways, with that said, what's my Lingsha stats? What's my build? How am I playing this character? Well, there's a couple different ways, and I actually want to go over some differences in builds, and I'll talk about them in my actual build video as well. But right now I'm just using Iron Cavalry. It gives me break effect, and then it also makes it so I can ignore defense, which is super nice. And then we have Kalpagni as well. This is really great because if the enemy has fire weakness, the break effect also increases even further, and it has speed bonus on it. So this whole setup is really, really good. But as for stats, my stats honestly aren't like super insane. I just have some break effect on everything, which is pretty nice and helpful. Outgoing healing boost, speed, attack, and energy regen. Now, there's a couple schools of thought here. You can go energy regen rope, or you can go break effect rope. If you go break effect rope, you will see more damage from Lingsha's super breaks, which in Firefly teams could be really great. But if you do that, you're going to struggle to get your ultimate up, and you want to make sure that you can apply Befog to enemies because that bonus is going to affect your entire team. Keep in mind, in a super break team, every character is a DPS. Your supports are a DPS, and your DPS is a DPS, right? So you want enemies to have Befog on them. You want the action advances. You want the cleanses. You want the dispels. And for that reason, I recommend if you don't have a light cone or some way to get her a bunch of energy, I recommend going with an energy regen rope. It's so much more consistent and safer. If you're zero cycling, that's a different scenario because you're willing to go in there and retry over and over and over to try and get like faster kill times and just maximize that damage, right? But for the average player, I think an energy regen rope is going to be a lot more consistent for you to be able to actually get your ultimate up. Your ultimate is 110 energy cost. You get 5 energy from your ultimate, and then you get 30 energy from your skill and basic attack. So every 3 turns, you would have 90 energy plus the 5 from the ultimate. So you'd have like 95 energy between like hits, other sources of energy, and also having like energy regen as a stat. You should be able to consistently get our ultimate up, and that's like really nice. Now, something my theory crafting friend recommended to me to try, and I did really like it when I played it, was post-op conversation S5. The reason is because this actually gives 16% energy regen, which ends up being like enough in most scenarios for you to get your ultimate on a consistent basis. And also outgoing healing bonus when you use your ultimate by 24%. So it's actually a super great light cone on her. And if you have it at S5, it can be a game changer. Though I am opting for, this is going to be like the more relatable thing for most players, is the craftable light cone that you could give to Gallagher plus an energy regen rope. It's going to be easier for more people to build just because not everyone has access to post-op S5. As for other light cones, I'll quickly show you what her light cone does. Her light cone increases break effect by 60%. Also, look at that art. Oh my god. Yup. Sorry. Bro, what are they? It's like so cute, but also why is she so, you know, like why is she? Anyways, after the wearer uses ultimate to attack enemy targets, inflicts the targets with woe free, which basically just makes them take increased damage. And it gets increased even further if your break effect is 150% or higher. So it's a pretty good light cone for her. It's not something that you need. Actually, you know what's really funny about this is if you're playing Gallagher, if you're a Gallagher main, I don't know anyone who's a Gallagher main. Surely there's someone that just like plays DPS Gallagher, right? No, but like if Gallagher's one of your favorite characters and you weren't gonna get Lingsha, but you just want like a really good light cone for Gallagher, this one's also pretty good. But you definitely don't need it, right? Like I'm just saying, it is an upgrade for the guy. It is. But if you're looking for some other light cones that you can use, Ho-Ho's light cone is fine if you have it S5 for the energy regen, or you can play Ho-Ho's light cone S1 and then use a 5% energy regen 2-piece set. So like basically the TLDR is your goal is to get her to at least 16% energy regen. And if you can get her to that much, you're chilling. Everything else goes into break effect and speed. But like honestly, most of the abundance light cones are going to be fine. Quid pro quo is great. Pay over here is great. Shared feeling is great. Perfect timing is fine. Honestly, I don't know anyone that's using perfect timing. Locha's light cone has some dank stuff that you can do. There's actually another build for Lingsha. I'm just going to mention this in passing because I don't want to go into details on it here. It might be a separate video, but when the new MOC comes out, you might be able to zero cycle with main DPS Lingsha. And I think that's really funny, but I'm going to go into that in another video because it's not going to apply to like 99% of you guys. As for speed, you just go as fast as you want, to be honest. Remember, more skills is more action forward for Banui. More basic attacks more frequently is going to be like just more energy overall. So you want your supports that can be SP positive to go a little bit faster, and she can do 2 basics to 1 skill and be fine. So I mentioned that she had some other teams available to her and that she was pretty flexible in comparison to like Gallagher, right? Well, to be honest, Gallagher can be played in like any team, and Lingsha is in a pretty similar boat, right? right? She heals and she has follow-up attack, and there's not really any team that says you can't play Lingsha in it, right? But there's some teams that she actually excels in. Now, first off, it's going to be the Firefly team. The Firefly team is just like, it's literally what she was made for. I don't think there's another team in the game that she works as well with. So anything that Firefly is going to be good in, Lingsha is going to be just your Gallagher replacement. But she can also work in teams with like Boot Heal, for example, especially if the enemy is Fire Weak. You don't actually need to run Boot Heal and Super Break, but Boot Heal can be a Super Break character. If you decide not to use like Bronya and stuff with him, you go Ruin May Trailblazer and then Lingsha, and that's also a fine combination that you can use. But somewhere where she actually excels a lot is in a follow-up team. Now, the reason is because follow-up attacks and just all ally actions towards the enemy that is marked by Numby is going to help move Numby up the priority for actions. And as Numby's going up, that's more damage through Topaz and Numby, and also more opportunities to proc Fei Xiao's follow-up attack, which can only happen once per her turn. But if you're playing Fei Xiao like either fast, or if you're using Robin to bring her action forward, you know, it just makes things happen more quickly, which means more energy more quickly. Overall, she fits fine in teams like this. I think Adventuring is still going to be better, but if you don't have Adventuring like me and probably like 3 other people on the planet, then Lingsha's pretty good. Yes, the break is not going to be like as crazy. At the end of the day, she still is a healer, cleanser, and follow-up attackers. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, you can play her in an Acheron team. Here I have Acheron, Jiaosho, Sparkle, and Sparkle at home, and they're all going to synergize pretty well. If the enemy is weak to fire, you have Jiaosho and Lingsha, so like they're going to get broken. But this is for me with my whale Acheron. If you can run without the second ability character, you can use Sparkle, and actually you don't have to play Sparkle. Like if you're playing a free-to-play Acheron, you probably just play like Pela, or you can play Silverwolf, and that's fine too. Dr. Ratio will also fit in these sort of teams because Dr. Ratio likes when enemies are debuffed, so he can degrade them with chalk. Any sort of normal Acheron team, you can play Lingsha in because she applies another debuff on her own, which is super nice. Similarly to Gallagher, I told you guys, Lingsha literally is Gallagher in a Sparkle suit. It is the same character. It's like the new PlayStation 5 that has like the DLC extra disc reader that you get for it. Yeah, Lingsha is like the extra disc reader with her follow-up attack. But overall, she is a good character. Like she's solid. I personally don't feel like she's a character that you need because I am someone who invested in Gallagher, and in my experience, like you can get pretty similar results. But where Lingsha works, she works really, really well. And a highly invested Lingsha will make a pretty big difference. I just personally feel like Lingsha in a Firefly team is unnecessary because a Firefly team is already rolling the content anyways. But maybe that's a hot take. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. You guys could let me know what you guys think of Lingsha in the comments. Now, the last thing I want to go over quickly is going to be her Eidolons. I did just talk about what I think about her pull value. I'll go over that again at the end. But here are her Eidolons. So first off, E1 is going to make it so her weakness break efficiency increases by 50%. This is a pretty big deal because more breaks and faster breaks is going to impact a lot, and it also impacts super break damage. So her super break damage also gets buffed by this. When an enemy unit's weakness is broken, it also reduces their defense by 20%. So even more damage via super break. So E1 is a pretty big upgrade. E2 is whenever you use her ultimate, all allies get 40% break effect for 3 turns. It's just a normal ally support buff. Pretty good stuff, not super necessary. I think E1 is going to feel a lot better in practice than E2, but E2 is going to be pretty nice. E3 is talent and ultimate level up, and E4 makes it so that whenever your EV takes action, it restores bonus HP to the ally that has the lowest HP. Now, the thing is with this one, I actually think this is not super useful. I could see it being super useful in the future if we had characters that started getting HP built up like way, way higher. But I just think it's a little bit overkill. There's not a lot of instances where this is going to make a difference for you. Skill and basic attack level up, which is nice on E5. And E6 reduces all enemies, all type res by 20%. And when Fuyuan attacks, additionally deals 4 instances of damage, with each instance dealing both fire damage equal to 50% of Lingsha's attack and a toughness reduction of 5 to a single random enemy. This feels like a bounce skill plus all type res shred. This prioritizes targets with both toughness greater than 0 and fire weakness. So basically, it's more attack from Fuyuan, which is the little pink Eevee, plus all type res shred. Now, if you're a simp and you want to get this, that's totally fine. I think any team right now that Lingsha would be optimal in does not need that much extra damage. I'm gonna be real. Like all of the teams that she slots into, Fei Xiao teams, Firefly teams, Acheron teams, like they're all already good for damage. Like, we don't need more damage. Or maybe you do. Maybe you're a damage addict. I'll see you in the back alleys calculating damage numbers on a spreadsheet. If you're gonna go for extra value on her, her E1 is really good. She has plenty of light cones that are accessible to free-to-play players and low spenders that are gonna be really solid. And you don't need to pull her signature, but her signature is pretty dang good. As of right now, I would get E1, but that might change in the full guide video. So when that comes out and I have all the numbers on paper and everything, pay attention to that if you want to know which one to pull for. But in general, what I recommend this character, I don't think she's bad. I really don't think she's a bad character at all. I think she's actually quite good. It's just that we have so many other options available to us. If Gallagher wasn't so unbelievably strong for a 4-star, with Eidolons, of course, then I think I would recommend Lingsha, and I'd be like, yeah, it's a super insane character and you need her. Right now, I don't think you need her, but she is a good character. She will be an upgrade to most accounts. It's just if you're trying to look for someone for a follow-up team and you have a Venturine, you won't need her. If you are trying to fill in your Firefly spot, she's an upgrade to Gallagher, but she's not super necessary. And if you have Sparkle, then you're looking at the same character design anyways. You can pick tall Sparkle or short Sparkle, and it's kind of up to you. But overall, good character. I'd rate her well. If you guys enjoyed this video and you guys want to see more, make sure to subscribe down below so that way you can be up to date on the newest videos. I'm going to be releasing a full Lingsha guide soon. And I also have a really super dank DPS Lingsha build that can zero cycle that I might show off to you guys later in a separate video. So let me know if you want to see that, because that's really funny. Until next time, guys, I'll get you later.